Karen swiftly strode through the office, her heels clicking against the polished floors as she headed straight for her boss's door. Her face was flushed with rage, her manicured nails digging into the palms of her hands. How dare that incompetent new hire, Emma, undermine her in the big client meeting? Barging into the office without knocking, Karen slammed the door behind her, fixing her boss, Mr. Henley, with a steely glare. "We need to talk. No. Mr. Henley looked up from his computer, eyebrows raised in surprise at Karen's uncharacteristic outburst. "What seems to be the problem, Karen?" "The problem is that new hire, Emma. She completely hijacked my presentation in front of the Johnson account. I've been busting my ass for this company for years, and she waltzes in and makes me look like an idiot." Mr. Henley held up a hand, trying to calm the irate woman. Now, let's not be too hasty. Emma is still new, and she was just trying to be helpful." "Helpful?" Karen scoffed. "She undermined me in front of the client's asterisk. That is not helpful. It's sabotage. I demand that you fire her immediately." Leaning back in his chair, Mr. Henley regarded Karen thoughtfully. "I appreciate your dedication, Karen, but I can't just fire someone for trying to contribute. Perhaps we can find a way for the two of you to work together more effectively." Karen's eyes narrowed dangerously. "Work together . With that incompetent little." "Karen." Mr. Henley's tone was firm. "I've made my decision. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other matters to attend to." Seething with rage, Karen stormed out of the office, her mind racing. There was no way she was going to let that upstart steal her thunder. She would find a way to get Emma fired, even if it was the last thing she did. Over the next few days, Karen plotted and schemed, determined to find a way to get Emma out of the picture. She couldn't believe her boss was siding with the new hire over her, the loyal, hard-working employee who had been with the company for years. Sitting at her desk, Karen's eyes narrowed as she watched Emma chatting animatedly with a few of their coworkers. Probably trying to win them over with her fake sweetness, Karen thought bitterly. Suddenly, an idea struck her. If she couldn't get Emma fired directly, maybe she could turn the rest of the office against her. Reaching for her phone, Karen quickly composed an email, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "Dear colleagues," the email began, "I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've recently discovered that our newest hire, Emma, has been engaging in some rather unethical behavior. Apparently, she's been accessing confidential client information and using it to her own advantage. I know this is hard to believe, but I thought you all deserved to know the truth." Karen paused, a wicked grin spreading across her face as she read over the email one more time. Perfect. With a few clicks of the mouse, she hit send, watching with satisfaction as the message was delivered to every employee in the office. The next day, the office was abuzz with hushed whispers and suspicious glances. Karen smirked as she watched Emma's brow furrow in confusion. The poor girl clearly unaware of the accusations being leveled against her. "Did you hear about Emma?" Karen overheard one of her coworkers murmuring to another. "Apparently, she's been stealing client information. Can you believe it?" "I always knew there was something off about her," the other person replied, shaking their head in disgust. Karen leaned back in her chair, feeling a sense of triumph. This is only the beginning. She thought, already plotting her next move. Over the next few days, the rumors about Emma's alleged misconduct continued to spread like wildfire through the office. Karen watched with glee as the once friendly coworkers began to distance themselves from the bewildered young woman. Emma tried to confront Karen about the email, but the older woman simply shrugged and feigned ignorance. "I'm just as surprised as you are, dear. I would never dream of spreading such rumors without evidence." Frustrated and feeling increasingly isolated, Emma turned to her boss, Mr. Henley, for help. "Someone is trying to sabotage me, and I think it's Karen. She sent an email accusing me of unethical behavior, and now everyone is avoiding me." Mr. Henley frowned, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. "That's a serious accusation, Emma. Do you have any proof to back it up?" Emma shook her head, her eyes pleading. "No, but you have to believe me. Karen is trying to get me fired, and I don't know what to do." Sighing, Mr. Henley leaned back in his chair. "I understand you're in a difficult position, but without concrete evidence, my hands are tied. I'll look into the matter, but in the meantime, I suggest you try to mend fences with your coworkers." Defeated, Emma trudged back to her desk, her shoulders slumped. As she sat down, she noticed several of her coworkers pointedly turning away, their whispers and sideways glances only adding to her growing sense of isolation. Karen, meanwhile, watched the scene with a cruel smile. Excellent, she thought. Soon, Emma will be begging for mercy, and I'll be the one in control. Weeks passed, and Emma's situation only grew worse. The rumors about her supposed misconduct had spread to the point where even the clients were beginning to question her competence. Several important accounts had been reassigned, and Emma found herself relegated to menial tasks that no one else wanted. Through it all, Karen maintained her innocent facade, often offering a sympathetic ear to her coworkers. "I just don't understand what's happening," she would lament. "Emma used to be such a promising young employee. It's truly a shame." One day, as Emma was packing up her desk, dejected and on the verge of quitting, a familiar face approached her. It was Mr. Henley, the company's CEO. "Emma, may I have a word with you?" he asked, his expression solemn. Nervously, Emma nodded, following him to a secluded corner of the office. "I've been doing some digging," Mr. Henley began, "and I've discovered something quite disturbing. It appears that the email you've been accused of was actually sent from Karen's computer." Emma's eyes widened in shock. "What? But how is that possible?" "It seems Karen has been orchestrating this entire situation in an attempt to undermine you and get you fired," Mr. Henley explained. "I'm deeply sorry for not believing you sooner. Can you ever forgive me?" Overwhelmed, Emma felt a mixture of relief and outrage. "So, Karen's been lying to everyone this whole time. I can't believe it." Mr. Henley nodded gravely. "I'm afraid so. She's been a trusted employee for many years, but her actions here are unforgivable. I'll be terminating her employment immediately." As Mr. Henley turned to leave, Emma felt a sense of vindication wash over her. Karen will finally get what she deserves, she thought, a small smile playing on her lips. The news of Karen's termination spread through the office like wildfire, and the once ostracized Emma found herself the center of attention. But this time, it was in a much more positive light. Her coworkers, who had once avoided her, now flocked to her desk, offering apologies and expressions of sympathy. Even the clients, who had been wary of her, now sought her out, eager to work with her again. Emma, however, remained conflicted. While she was relieved to have her name cleared and her reputation restored, a part of her couldn't help but feel a twinge of pity for Karen. After all, she thought, Karen must have been driven by some deeper insecurity or resentment to go to such lengths to undermine me. As Emma pondered this, Mr. Henley made a surprise announcement. He was promoting her to a senior position, one that would have been Karen's had she not been fired. Emma was stunned, but deep down, she knew she had earned this opportunity fair and square. With a newfound sense of confidence, she accepted the promotion, ready to tackle the challenges that lay ahead. Little did she know, however, that the drama was far from over. As she settled into her new office, the door burst open, and in strode a furious-looking Karen. "This is an outrage," she shrieked, her eyes wild. "You can't just fire me and give my job to that incompetent little upstart." Mr. Henley, who had followed Karen into the office, held up a hand. "I'm afraid I can, Karen. Your actions were unacceptable, and we simply cannot condone that kind of behavior in this company." Karen's face twisted in a mask of pure rage. "You'll regret this," she snarled, her gaze fixed on Emma. "Mark my words, I'll make you both pay for this." As Karen stormed out, Emma couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine. She had a feeling that this was far from the end of the drama. In the weeks that followed, Emma settled into her new role as a senior executive, determined to prove herself worthy of the promotion. She worked tirelessly, often staying late into the night to ensure that everything was running smoothly. To her relief, the office had returned to a sense of normalcy. The rumors about her had long since died down, and her coworkers had warmly welcomed her back into the fold. Even the clients were impressed with her newfound confidence and competence. Emma couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in her accomplishments. After all, she had weathered the storm of Karen's malicious scheming and emerged victorious. Maybe, this is finally the fresh start I've been hoping for, she thought, allowing herself a rare moment of optimism. Little did she know, however, that the calm was merely the prelude to a much bigger storm. One evening, as Emma was packing up to head home, her phone rang. It was Mr. Henley, his voice laced with urgency. "Emma, I need you to come back to the office. It's an emergency." Frowning, Emma hurried back, her mind racing with possibilities. What could have happened? When she arrived, she found Mr. Henley pacing in his office, a grave expression on his face. "I'm afraid I have some bad news," he began, his brow furrowed. "Karen has filed a lawsuit against the company, claiming wrongful termination." Emma's heart sank. Of course. I should have known she wouldn't go down without a fight. The lawsuit is claiming that you conspired with me to get her fired, and that her termination was unjustified," Mr. Henley continued. "She's demanding a substantial settlement, and if she wins, it could seriously damage the company." Emma felt a wave of dread wash over her. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. In the days that followed, the office was thrown into a state of chaos as the fallout from Karen's lawsuit unfolded. Lawyers were brought in, depositions were taken, and the company's reputation hung in the balance. Emma found herself at the center of the storm, forced to defend her actions and her integrity against Karen's scathing accusations. The former colleagues who had once shunned her were now called upon to testify, and their testimonies would play a crucial role in determining the outcome of the case. As the trial date approached, the tension in the office was palpable. Emma spent long hours poring over documents, rehearsing her testimony, and strategizing with the company's legal team. She knew that the stakes were high, not just for her own future, but for the entire company. Meanwhile, Karen seemed to relish in the chaos she had created. She would saunter through the office, a smug expression on her face, as if daring Emma to challenge her. The once powerful executive had been reduced to a vengeful, spiteful individual, consumed by her own bitterness and resentment. Finally, the day of the trial arrived, and Emma took the stand, her heart pounding in her chest. She recounted the events leading up to Karen's termination, detailing the evidence that had been uncovered and the steps taken to ensure a fair and just outcome. Karen's attorney, a sharp-tongued and relentless individual, grilled Emma mercilessly, trying to poke holes in her story and discredit her testimony. But Emma remained steadfast, her responses calm and deliberate, as she refused to be cowed by the woman who had once tried to destroy her. As the trial drew to a close, the tension in the courtroom was palpable. The judge's decision would determine not just the fate of Karen's lawsuit, but the very future of the company itself. The courtroom was silent as the judge, a stern-faced woman with a reputation for fairness, rose to deliver her verdict. Emma and Karen sat at opposite ends of the room, both women tense with anticipation. After carefully considering the evidence presented, the judge began, her voice carrying through the hushed chamber. I find that the defendant, Karen, has failed to provide sufficient proof to substantiate her claims of wrongful termination. A collective gasp rippled through the room, and Emma felt a surge of relief wash over her. Karen, on the other hand, stared at the judge in disbelief, her face twisted in a mask of fury. Furthermore, the judge continued, the court has determined that the actions taken by the plaintiff, Emma, were entirely justified and warranted, given the overwhelming evidence of Ms. Karen's unethical behavior and her attempts to undermine a fellow employee. The judge paused, fixing Karen with a stern gaze. Therefore, I am not only dismissing the lawsuit, but I am also ordering that Ms. Karen pay restitution to the company for the time and resources that were wasted as a result of her malicious actions. A collective cheer rose up from the company's legal team, and Emma felt a wave of triumph wash over her. Asterisk, it's finally over, asterisk, she thought, a smile spreading across her face. As Karen was escorted out of the courtroom, Emma couldn't help but feel a twinge of pity. The once powerful executive had lost everything, her job, her reputation, and now, her financial security. It was a sobering reminder that one's own hubris and greed could ultimately be one's downfall. As Emma left the courthouse, she couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. She had weathered the storm and emerged victorious, and she knew that this experience had only made her stronger. Asterisking ready to take on the world, asterisk, she thought, her steps filled with a newfound confidence.